Today, we are reacting to a 90-day money makeover, getting out of debt with half the income.
Let's go straight to the phone lines. It looks like we've got a couple here, Sean and Dara from Atlanta, GA. What's going on, Sean and Dara?
Hey, how's it going? Thanks for taking our call.
No problem. Hey, how can we help?
So me and Dara, back in November, have a new son, a baby boy.
Oh,
Congrats.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Now that he's born, she is cutting down to part-time. So that entails our income going from $200,000 to $100,000.
Ooh, that's a steep jump.
That's a very steep jump.
A 50% paycheck cut is a big deal. But if that's what's best for your family, you will figure out a way, even if you didn't start at $200K. You have to decide what's important to you. Now, maybe you're making $100K with 2 incomes and you're like, how could we possibly live off one? Just remember that it doesn't have to be all or nothing. Could you work opposite shifts? How do people with your job titles work from home? Or you could think about what kind of jobs would be more flexible. Maybe it wouldn't be the exact same income level, but it could keep you off the rice and beans train.
When it comes to the situation of you staying home or not staying at home or doing part-time versus no time, you just have to understand how it's going to affect your debt payoff.
We do have approximately $87,000 in student loan debt and a car loan and like $19,000 in savings.
I'm gonna give you 2 roads because mathematically you guys can keep the car, okay? So I want you to do some math and I want you to make 2 separate plans, okay? One plan, keeping the car, and how long will it take us to pay off this debt? Plan 2 would be, hey, what if we sold the car and buy a used car? See, okay, how fast can we pay off this debt? Because how much is that car payment every month?
$640.
$600, okay.
Now, I know the call was shortened for this video, but there's some other relevant factors to consider. How much could they sell the car for and how much would be left on the loan? If they bought the car brand new, the resale value might not be great, and they could be ending up underwater with that car.
Hello, how are you? I am under the water. Please help me. Here too much raining.
So say they could sell the car for $25,000, but they still have $30K on that loan. That means they have $5,000 of debt still and no car. It could still be a good decision to sell a car because then they would have wiped out $25K of debt. But I would definitely say this depends on the situation. I see people thinking that they need a lot nicer of a car than they really do. I know the salesperson told you it was safer or whatever it took to get you to sign those papers. But you can find an $8,000 reliable used van. It will do the exact same job.
For me, one of the things I'm a little nervous about was getting rid of the savings and putting it on the debt.
My apprehension would be losing the car.
I waited a long time to have a nice car.
We are thinking about moving at the end of our lease. It would be beneficial in cutting expenses to be able to put money toward more of the debt.
The EveryDollar app is actually...
Housing is one of your biggest expenses, and I love that they're thinking about this. This is one of the benefits of being a renter. If you're getting serious about paying off your debt, you can just move to a cheaper place. Maybe not right away. You might have to wait until the end of your lease, but you can move. You're not stuck in a 30-year mortgage. You can live in a small, crappy little apartment when you're paying off your debt. That's what we did. And this can make a huge, meaningful dent.
We paid off $14,000 in student loans today that are totally gone now.
I love how they're a team. They're always using words like we, us. We found out that we were pregnant. We made this decision together.
Oh my God! Wow!
And to me, this is part of the key of working together as a couple. It's not like, oh, she's got the debt over there and he's got the debt over there and it's your problem and you have to deal with it. It's like, we're a team and we're going to tackle this together.
I took your salary, which is about $100,000 a year, and I thought, okay, once these guys start investing, you're going to be 47.
Right, this year.
So let's say you work till you're 65, right? That gives you 17 working years to start piling away 15%. Pull that back to 16 years.
Yeah.
That's a decrease of $60,000 that it's costing you, plus the cost of the car, which is 27. So is it worth $87,000 to you?
It definitely puts a different perspective.
It puts a different perspective on it.
So what she's talking about here is opportunity cost. If they're not getting out of debt earlier because they keep the car, This means they can't invest that money. And they're missing out on the time in the market that money could be compounding. So that $80,000 they're talking about that they are going to miss out on by keeping the car. And when you think about it in this long range sort of way, your small everyday decisions, suddenly they matter. You're like, oh, I only wasted $200 this month. But if you're like, how much would that $200 be in 15, 20 years if I invested it? And then that $200 purchase seems a lot more consequential. It's interesting that Jade is talking about opportunity cost when it comes to paying off the car and paying off that debt fast, but the Ramsey team doesn't seem to consider this as much when they talk about that you should pay off your house. Part of the Ramsey plan is that you will pay off your house early. But when you pay off your house with that 2% interest rate, you are missing out on the 10% you could have been getting in the market. And that is also a huge opportunity cost.
What you've told me your priorities are, your biggest priorities, because here's the thing, everything's gonna compete to be the top priority. What you've told me, and the reason that I'm here is you want to pay off your debt. You want to get your time back. You want to get your investing in your home purchase started. Nothing usurps those three.
Okay.
And so I'm here to remind you of that.
Okay.
And in a moment, you might go, well, Jade, $50 difference is not that much. But compound that over time and it does matter.
I love that Jade is bringing them back to their goal. They called the Ramsey Show because they were in debt and they wanted that push to make it happen. And the more laser focused they can be on this, the faster they can get it done. And that's what every financial journey is about, figuring out what you actually want. I want my budget to reflect what I care about and what I actually value. If I say I want to be debt free, then my budget better look like I'm trying to get there as fast as I can. And also, if I say that my value is travel, that better be in the budget too.
All right, so the budget is looking good. Let me give you some homework. So I do want you to continue making your budget. Second thing is, I want you guys to do a will. I really want you guys to log in Mama Bear legal forms. I'd love for it to be finished and signed at the 90-day point.
Okay.
And then finally...
Okay, I know the Ramsey kind of has like a will division, but number 2, I would do term life insurance instead. Now, maybe they already have term life insurance and she knows that, so that's why she's not talking about that. But yes, wills are important, but term life insurance is more important. And it doesn't have to be that expensive. And especially as a young, growing family who is becoming more dependent on one income, that is even more essential.
Been contemplating pretty heavily about keeping the car or letting it go, and peace of mind is priceless. There's a lot of things that we're doing in this process right now that is unsettling. Letting go of all of our savings to only having $1,000 and peace of mind knowing that my child and I were safe and in a reliable, predictable mode of transportation is really priceless to me.
I think it's interesting that she's talking about going down to the $1,000 of savings and the motivation to keep the car. So when you go down to the Ramsey recommended emergency fund of only $1,000, that puts you in a kind of precarious position. But that car with the big payment is reliable because it's new, which means it probably won't need any expensive repairs soon. And because the Ramsey team pushed them to such a small emergency fund, I think that actually pushes her into keeping the car because she knows that they don't have money in the bank to fix a car that maybe needs new tires. So what if they had kept more of the emergency fund, but they had been able to get rid of the car? They probably would have been net ahead in the long run. What do you think? Are you on team keep the car or team ditch the car?
I'm just really proud of you all. I mean, for anyone to change habits, it's a big deal. It takes a lot of effort.
We've paid off like $28,000, so we'll be back for that debt-free scream, so.
That's an impressive amount of money to pay off in just 90 days. Even though remember that a big part of this was totally wiping out all of their savings. I think part of this is that it's super encouraging to see that much progress that quickly. When you see that kind of movement, it really spurs you on to pay off the last of it. You get addicted to that idea of debt freedom and you run towards it.
You guys found a lot of money. I mean, obviously you had the savings there, but if you add it all together, you guys also brought in an extra $10,000, $12,000 over the course of those 90 days. Tell us about that.
Some of it was extra money. She was doing some side stuff. But I don't even know if it was all extra money. I think a lot of it was, even though our income actually went down when she went part-time, we seemed to make even more progress after that because we were more focused.
Yeah. Isn't that interesting?
Super interesting.
Getting on the budget and watching the money.
Yep.
Although, there were hiccups in there. I mean, as there always going to.
I like how he says getting on the budget. It sounds like getting on a diet or something. But that laser focus really enabled them to pay off debt, even though they made less money. That's the magic of the budget. People feel like it's there to restrict them, but really this is about putting the money where you want it to go. If you want to get serious about your financial goals, you need to make a budget. If you enjoy videos like this, be sure to give this video a like, subscribe, and can't wait to see you in the next one. Bye for now.